Hello folks and welcome back to another lesson. This one was a request by Mr. Charlie Lafferty, everyone. He's a patron, so requested this one and I'm more than happy to oblige because I love this tune. Now we're going to go for some slightly odd tuning and a couple of pedals. Nothing too crazy, but essentially we're looking at Johnny's parts, okay? Because they're kind of the most fun. Now your low E stays the same, but the A string goes down to G, so down 2 frets worth, right? So it matches your third string. And then your E string, your top E, goes down 2 frets as well, okay? Down to D. So that would match your fourth string. Now for the most part, he's using a Digitech whammy pedal with these settings. So I've got the harmony side set to the octave up in toe down, right? So you've got... And it's a wonderful use of this pedal, it really is. Honestly, when you start playing that, it's hard to stop. And then for dirt, you just need a distortion pedal. I'm using the 1991 with these settings for that. And he uses a telly, so I've gone with me Seth Backus Shoreline for that. So let's crack on with the first riff. So it's the section you heard at the beginning. We'll take it a bar at a time. So you're going to play. It's pretty straightforward, right? But really make sure you get that clean. So there's a pull off on the 3rd fret. Then your whichever finger, I'm using my second, goes onto the 3rd fret on the 4th string. And then for the next part, I'm using my 1st and my 2nd finger there on the 1st frets either side of the G string. And then my 3rd finger goes for the bend, and I tuck my fingers in behind it. And then you play the open G, right? It's just a half step bend. Okay? So then we've got 3rd bar. Same as the 1st. Then we have... And you get a slide there. So this is a diminished chord, or part of a diminished chord, right? So you got... And then you slide up to the 4th fret, okay? It's not a very deliberate slide. It's just keep your fingers locked on the fretboard. And then slide the whole lot up and then pluck it once you arrive. Okay, then again. Slight variation in this bar. Like that, and then again. Which is basically a repeat of the first 2 bars. Then you're into the verse. There's a 4-bar rest where Johnny's concerned, and then he starts doing some arpeggiated stuff. So you're going to get 2, 3, 4. That's the first part, okay? So the first bit is very simple. So all open strings. For the last 8th note, you play that open D. And you do the same on the next part for the diminished chord, right? Okay, and then G basically, then slide up 1 fret. And that's where that D tune down really gives you there. You know, because otherwise you're playing, which just does not sound the same at all. So then you've got the second part of the verse riff, which is the open 5th string, and then 5, 4, 3. And then flatten your first finger, and then you're playing 3, 4, 3, right? Then you play the same shape for the next 2 chords. Down 2 frets, up to the 4th fret. With a very slow, deliberate sort of rake. Okay, again. Next time there's a rest in place of the, the open 5th string. So that would be 3, 4, 1. And that's that part. Then you're back into that part, okay? There's a very slight variation in the next verse which goes like this. Not much to it, you're just playing a couple of extra notes, so we can skip over that bit. Then whammy on, and you go back into... So you know all the parts, they've just been put in a slightly different order. Then you've got these little fills going on, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. That at the end, okay? So you've got 5 on the top string, 4, 3, and you play that around twice. So it's it comes in on the 2 and, so 1 and 2. Fourth fret this time. Just a slight variation there. So you've got change to the next bar. Very subtle difference there. Rather than staying on the 4th fret, you bring in the 3rd string, okay? Sounds brilliant. Then the whammy comes off again. You're back into that part again, okay? Another subtle variation when he next goes to it is... Okay, so it's just... Then... It's just a couple of 16th notes put in there, right? Then you're back into this. Now what I would do there, if you're going to be playing along with the record, or your mates, I would turn it off on the... Because there, you're going to be putting your distortion pedal on and turning the whammy off, okay? So I would play... And then into that, right? Up to you what you do there, but that's how I would do it. And then this next part comes in. Okay, so you've got 8, 7, 6, 5, quite staccato. Then on the 4th and the 3rd fret, right? You got whack, whack, 4, whack, whack, 3. Okay. Now this next riff is really cool. There might be a bit more sort of wackiness going on here, you know, quite a bit of strumminess, but it's quite offbeat. So the main notes that you want to jump out are the ones that I've tabbed. So there may be some incidental stuff going on that I haven't tabbed, but basically you're going to play. Etc. Right, so you've got that little rundown, then rest, And then you've got that, right? It's all on the 3rd fret. So I'm using my 2nd finger for the root note, the low G. And I would go for that rather than the 5th fret, because when you play it, doesn't really matter if you hit the D, right? You know, it's quite messy. And then the 5th fret. Okay, and then you got that going on. So again, 3, 4, 1. Shifted my hand there, right? So I've gone to the 5th fret on the 5th string. And my first finger's here still on this 3rd fret on the 3rd string, okay? So that's 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, okay? And then you hit the open E. And there, that's muted by the tip of my first finger, so I can be a bit strummier, right? Up, up, down, up, down, up, down, down. Okay? And then back round. Play that round a few times, and then you go back into the intro. So that comes off, and then you're back into that, okay? Another verse. I would just play 003 there for 1 bar. Then you're going to start doing a little bit more arpeggiated stuff. Very subtle. It's really lovely. And you got... Okay, and then you repeat that again, but with this extra bit. Okay, like that. So let's wind back a little bit. So we've played this once. Second time. Just take all your fingers off and arpeggiate down. Then on the forehand, you've got that again, okay? On the first beat now, so 3, 4. Slide your first finger up. You've got pretty straightforward, just a different rhythmic pattern with the right hand, okay? Then you've got a couple of variations in the heavy parts. You've got this. And then you've also got this. You know, that stuff, right? So again, just get into it, you know, mute some stuff, don't mute some stuff, but essentially you're going to do... You've got to really use your thumb on this part, I think. And you're going to bend up... the kind of B string, I think, goes a half step, and I think the G string goes a full step. So everything's basically the same, except you're replacing that note with these bends, right? These double stop bends. And then you're into the solo part, okay? So that bit's pretty straightforward. So coming out of... You hold on the 3rd fret for a bar, and you go 5, 6, 8. And then you play 10, 8, 6. And then again... And you're into that bit. But want to show you the other part actually, because you can play it. I mean, it's, you know, it's played with standard power chords, I think. But even with the weird tuned 5th string, if you go 6 and then mute 8, 7, 6, you can totally play it. And you play that twice. So you've got B flat to C, D flat, back down 1 fret to C. You know, play that round twice. Then we are back into distortion, and this is the last part. So we've got all right, so that's the first part. The next part's even simpler actually. So you've got, so 15, 16, 17 triplets now. So the 15th fret either side of that little run, and then you play. Then you do a 2.5 step bend, right? So a really big bend. And then the last phrase. And you just carry on with that, right? An offbeat stab on the 17th fret, right? So that second phrase is pretty much the same as the first. Like that. I mean, you could go into octaves if you want. And then there's a little slide on the end, I think on the 15th fret on the low string. And you're done. Hope you enjoyed that one. Thanks again for watching. See you soon.